Welcome to Southern Sisters, where real talk meets rooted faith. We're your hosts, Megan, Lindsay, Courtney, and Evie, bringing sisterhood, laughter, and a whole lot of grace to the everyday chaos. Welcome to our episode of Southern Sisters. We're so glad you're here with us. Today's episode is going to be awesome. I haven't said that yet.
No.
Oh my gosh.
But we are so glad you're here. Okay, today we are talking about how you live with your legacy in mind. And I'm really excited for this topic. Before we jump into our discussion, we would like to share a listener review with you. This is from our dear friend Jenny, who sends me texts and Marco Polos after our episodes with her feedback and her adding to the conversation most weeks. And I completely adore it. It's really great.
And you don't share it. I had no idea.
I know. We need to hear it too.
Okay.
Yeah. Which Jenny? One of your ward?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She says, thank you for sharing with all of us. It's great to have found a podcast that I can recommend to family and friends with trustworthy content. I find myself laughing along with you, but more importantly to me, it causes me to reflect on my own life and family. I see where I can make changes and improve my life. Although my kids are all grown, I sure remember those days of the wonderful chaos. I look forward to each episode. Keep it up, ladies.
Love that, Jenny.
So I thought that was awesome. Okay. Our icebreaker question for the day is, what's the most bizarre thing you've ever said out loud as a parent? And I'll go first. One time my kids were being crazy. I don't even remember who I said this in regards to, but when I was talking about, like, have I ever said anything bizarre? One of my kids popped up and was like, remember that one time we got in trouble and you were like, come, Lord Jesus, come. And they asked me about it. They were like, why did you say that? And I was like, because you literally will need the second coming to save yourself from my wrath. Like, that's where we're at. Just like, I'm done. Jesus better come because you're about to die.
Oh gosh.
So I have a history of always bringing down, like, holy wrath with me whenever I feel it. Like, whenever my siblings were younger, I remember being like, quoting that scripture, woe be unto the liar,
For he shall be thrust. Yeah.
Yeah.
and I just love, I don't know. So
You've
yeah,
always
when they
done
said
it.
that, I had forgotten I said that, but that was my thing that I didn't think I'd ever say as a parent.
Mine was, you can't use your diaper as a painting palette.
Ooh.
Yeah, because they were with their door. It was gross.
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 And it had to be, never mind. I'm not going to tell you which kid it was, but they know who they are.
And that story
Which of
that
our
you shall
faithful
tell at their
listeners?
weddings.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Mine's not, that's gross. I mean, mine was pretty gross too. I literally found myself saying, we don't lick airport trash can.
Oh, yeah.
And that is when we started calling this particular child a trash panda.
Oh my goodness.
And I love them so much. But it's true. I'm like, don't lick things. It's like it's a touch thing to see what something feels like. And they were little, like 2. And I remember being like, oh, man.
Gross.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Evelyn?
I just thought of 2, and both of these are from the same child.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is, get your shoe out of your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Disgusting. And then the other one is, do not put your boogers on my couch. After this child came to me and said, Mommy, my boogers are brown and red. And I'm like, okay. Cool. And then I walk and see bloody red boogers on my
knew
couch.
exactly who they were from.
But
They
your
just
beautiful
busted
cream couch.
themselves
Yes.
Oh.
That luckily is stain resistant. Was
Thank
easy to clean,
goodness.
so.
Jeez.
Goodness.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Yikes.
they just are going to push you to all the limits.
Yep.
Okay, so our special segment for this episode is your favorite things. So we're going to share with you our favorite things. And the favorite thing we're going to share this episode is share your favorite summer dinner right now. So what is your favorite thing to do for summer dinner?
Okay, I have 2. One, our favorite thing is Asian chicken salad. Mm-hmm. That one's one of our favorites to make, and Austin loves that one. That's his favorite. But that
Yeah,
one's
that's
super
good
easy because
that
you
you
can
make.
pick up a rotisserie chicken and like shred it. And so everything is individual, and you can just grab and add it to your delivery cart really quickly. But then you just make the dressing. So That
Is it
one's
the
super
one
easy.
from Costco? The salad?
No.
No? Okay.
Well, like a bag salad?
Yeah.
No, I just like take romaine lettuce and just chop it.
Oh, okay.
So, and then that would be easier. I'm sure you could do that.
Yeah.
And then the other one is I have been really liking tacos and ganas. And
The food truck?
no, yes, inspired by the food truck,
Okay.
but I make it at home.
Okay.
And if I do say so myself, it's way better.
All right. I'm going to have to come over.
It's so good. So it's like different. It's sort of like street tacos, but they're like crispy on the outside and have like melty cheese on the inside.
The birria taco?
Sort
I don't
of,
even know
but
how to
it's.
pronounce it.
I like it crunchy on the outside, and not like falling apart. So I've been making those a lot, and then we do like cilantro and lime juice and onions. It's really good.
Delicious.
Yeah, we need to have y'all over and do it. Everyone, sibling dinner. But it's been fun to make, and my kids love it.
That's
That's good.
Yeah.
Anything kids can eat easy and you don't have to force
Yeah,
them.
it's good.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay.
So, me personally, I don't like to cook. But my favorite summer dinner right now is also an Asian salad, but it's just one from Costco that's like in a kit. It's already done. And Costco rotisserie chicken is
Delicious.
the best.
Yeah.
The best. For
Yes.
Sure. Yes.
And another, it's a salad too, but it's from a local place called City Silo, and it's a chicken chipotle salad, and it's way better than Chipotle. It's like it's similar, like if you got a bowl from Chipotle, but it just tastes a lot more fresh, and it's a lot. I love it.
I think salads are great in summer when it's so hot.
Yeah.
It's great.
I like anything Jared grills. I love whatever Jared grills because he has just like really honed his craft in grilling, and I'm so proud of him. And when I go to steak places, I'm just like, meh.
Yeah,
he
steak
does a
is
good
like
That's
so
how I
much
feel about
better.
barbecue now.
Yes,
Yeah.
so
It's true.
funny. So
I love
yeah,
it.
we just love grilling.
do you
Oh,
make?
and he got an air fryer. All right, so we've officially converted to air frying.
It's about time.
He figured out how to air fry baked potatoes.
That's
Wait,
amazing.
what?
They're so good and crispy on the outside,
Yeah.
perfect on the inside. Amazing.
Do
you like cut 'em
Salsa
up?
on the outside? No, you just throw the whole thing in
Oh,
there.
Okay,
Okay.
you need to send us all that recipe. Post it online in our
Okay.
stories.
I will. Yep. I
Yeah,
will
he
post
made
it.
like a
Love
ton
that.
at a time, and so we have them in the fridge. Chloe's just like a baked potato
Yeah.
fiend. So like,
Every once in a while, you need a good baked potato.
yep.
I think that's great. My favorite thing right now to do for dinner time is I like to make double and use one for one recipe and one like a day or two later.
Yeah.
For instance, like when I'm making chicken, I will usually, my favorite way to make chicken is to put it in the crock pot with some chicken broth and just water and let it cook for 4 to 5 hours and then use it for whatever recipe I make. I always do double, so I use it to make it with whatever recipe that night, and then 2 days later I don't have to recook it, which is great. And same thing with like rice or pasta. If we're having that, just make double so that the next later in the week I'm able to just toss it together.
Yeah.
A pasta salad to go with
Yeah.
whatever. It's
That's
pretty
smart.
easy.
Double prep.
My favorite though is using that chicken and rice and making chicken broccoli rice casserole.
Oh, it's the best. So good.
Yep. So it's my fave and it's easy and everyone eats it pretty okay. So that works out good.
That's great.
All right. Today we are talking about living with the legacy in mind. And the reason why I thought this was important is because I feel like there's so many times with parenting when you can get caught up in the day to day and the tiny decisions and the challenges and the victories. Like there's victories in there too, but we need to focus more on recognizing that parenting is a marathon and not a sprint. So that's what we're talking about today. And the first thing I wanted to ask is what kind of legacy are we building in our daily unseen choices? So like all the things that are part of what we're doing and what we're building that nobody really sees. Like, what do you guys think? What kind of legacy? What is important to you? What is something that you value that you're trying to pass on to the next generation?
I think for me, it's our faith, like mine and Adam's. And it's not like being faithful to people who see you. It's like actually having faith in like day-to-day real life things. So instead of just being one way at church, you're like literally, my biggest hope for my kids is that they have a relationship with their Father in heaven, and that's who they turn to. And I feel like there's this quote that I heard a while back that's like really stuck with me, and it said, "What you as parents treat as optional, your kids will deem irrelevant."
Ooh.
And it really stuck out to me because if you are trying to build a legacy and things like going to church on Sunday is optional, or you let other things take precedence with that, then the generation after you is going to think it's irrelevant. And what do you want for your kids? You know, even if it's not going to church for you, like if we look for reasons not to go, or are you trying to stay as close to the light as you can for your kids so they continue that legacy? And when I heard that quote, I was like, oh, I could be so much better in so many ways. But I think for us, the thing that I've tried to do the most as a parent is speak like the unseen things, is to say out loud when I'm struggling, or when I get an answer to prayer, or when something happens that I'm going through, speaking it out loud and using those moments in the car to teach, or using those opportunities instead of it being my own journey, sharing it with my kids. I think is such a big deal. And they talk about it.
It's huge.
Yeah. So I think if you can do nothing else but to bring your own experiences and struggle and faith journey with your children and talk about it, I think it makes, number one, you seem more real, and they get it, and they'll remember those times more than anything that was in a lesson formally taught, you know?
Right.
So that's what I try to do, is to talk about it, find opportunities to either speak about what I'm doing, or to see when they've had an answer to prayer and to show them in a conversation. Because I think a lot of times they don't see it in themselves yet. But I think pointing to it and say, this was God in your life. And then they're like, oh, it was. We just prayed about that. It's really important to point those things out.
If you can learn to spot those things as a child, how much further ahead are you in life
Yeah.
to just be successful, like as an adult? No, man, Lindsay, that's amazing. Okay, so how do we pass on faith without forcing it? What do you guys think?
I think the number one thing kids pick up on is if you're a hypocrite.
Yep, that was the first thing I thought of too.
Like that was such a big word. I don't know if it's a buzzword or what, but when it comes to parenting and you're telling them, you know, do as I say, not as I do, and you
That's
know,
garbage.
all the things. It's like you can't. If you're not living it, you're not. Why would they do it if you're not doing it?
Right.
You know, and it's hard. It's so hard because you say the unseen things, but they see everything. You know, like your kids are seeing everything you do and every choice you make. And I don't know, you just have to let them, you have to be okay with them being in the quiet moments that you're trying to have, even if it's your daily walks or if it's you're reading scriptures. The other day I was studying Inklings and one of my kids was in the room playing games. And instead of kicking them out, I just had the podcast on loud and I was reading my scriptures where they could hear it, you know, and,
They pick up way more than we think.
yes. So I just think the key is being an example of what you're trying to instill in them. Because if it's important, then you should be doing it anyways. You know, like if I think that I'm telling them to pray and get answers to prayer, then I should be doing that too.
And
Like,
talking about
yeah.
it. Yeah.
You ever say something to your kids and you're like, I mean, I really should take my own advice?
Yeah.
Like, how many times has that happened, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Leading,
it is-
leading by example.
Kind of combining this and what Lindsay said, I feel like if you will have conversations with them about your faith journey and the things you're doing and the things they pick up on, like children come wired for faith. They come wired there. That's why Christ says to become like a little child, is because they come ready to believe. They come ready to accept the impossible.
Like little sponges.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they soak it up. And through those experiences that you're having, you can guide them to have their own, like you were talking about. And that is everything. But if you're not doing the work so that you're able to have the Holy Spirit be your guide, then you're missing an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm just having the thought right now that someone would be like, "Oh, it's too late for me. I've already screwed up, and my kids
So
are
what
who
would
they
you-
are."
What would you
So
say
my
to that
thought
person?
was like, how powerful would it be if you haven't been living what you want to teach your kids, and you have thought, well, I'm not doing it, so I can't tell my kids to do it. How much more powerful would it be if you made the change and decided to change, and then
Told
they
them
saw
about it.
that, like they
Yeah.
can feel the difference between you making good choices and taking care of yourself and doing the things you're supposed to do, which means you're trying to come closer to the person you need to be for your family. Then they can feel the difference. And so what a powerful testimony that could be to them that you've decided to change. And then you can be like, sharing your story about how this impacted you, how you made these changes, and how much better your life is because of it. Even if it's still hard, even if there's still storms that you're running through, at least you're not running through it alone. You're making sure that you're doing what you need to do.
Well, and how much more powerful would that be to tell your kid, like, hey, I'm really struggling with this. I'm having a really hard time doing this thing, but I want to be better.
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, can you imagine hearing your parents say that and being like, they struggle with that? They are having a hard time? Okay, maybe I can help make something easier, or maybe I can whatever and work together as a family. But I think telling your kids we were driving in the car, and I remember feeling like my sweet oldest asked me a question, and I could have given them this is the answer, and it would have been done. And I remember feeling like you need to say more and talk more about your struggle. So I was like, okay. So it ended up being this beautiful conversation where I opened up about the things that were really hard for me and how I struggled and was feeling less than. And he literally looked at me and he's like, I didn't know you have those feelings too. I'm like,
Isn't that
"Yeah."
amazing?
Yeah, it's the things that you don't know they don't know
Yeah.
until they say things like that, and you're like, yeah, we're all in this together. Like we're all on the struggle bus.
I feel like you're
You
in
know?
parent mode so much, just trying
Yeah.
to take care of them the first couple years of their lives. You're
Yeah.
like on parent mode. And you need to be on like people mode. You need to be like, okay, they're people too.
Yeah.
And just like kind of make sure you're both.
In the car are some of the coolest conversations we've had because number one, you have a captive audience. And number two, it's like it's not a high pressure situation where you're like staring at each other in the face and you're like, tell me your inner secrets. You're like watching the cars go by and you're distracted and those opportunities. So if you want to get closer to your kids, start in the car. Start when you're just there, just the two of you, or go on a date and drive somewhere together, or take them with you on an errand, because those have been some of the coolest conversations we've had. Or on the way home from church when they're like, this is what we talked about. And then our discussion goes a whole different direction of like, oh, let me take this opportunity to teach them. Looking for opportunities, I think is a
That was
big
something
deal.
that I wrote down was the small conversations. It doesn't always have to be like a sit down, like 30-minute hour lesson. It can be in the small moments. But I just thought of a story that I could share of how like I have been trying to not force like faith on my children. And so one of my kids, they were just not wanting to pray. And like I really wanted them to gain a love for prayer, but I wanted to do it in a way that wasn't like a punishment
Right.
or like forced on them. And so I had to find a way that it like clicked with them. And I think that's with every kid. Like every kid has a different way that it just like clicks for them. Because I have another kid, like they love praying. Like every time it's like, hey, who wants to pray? Me.
Yeah.
And so with the kid that didn't really like to say prayers, obviously like in church and at home, we learn all the Bible stories, all the stories that we have in the Book of Mormon as well. But for them, it was hearing the stories about Christ and Heavenly Father and learning about them, like knowing who they are, knowing stories about them. So that way they felt like they knew who they were praying to.
Yeah.
And like the relationship and like knowing, you know, who they are.
That's
I
cool.
love that. I love that so much. I forgot exactly what I was going to say.
Well, I got another quick story while you're thinking about that. So we were laughing because speaking of like doing things, so the other night, it was just a little one when you were talking about prayer. We were all like starving. We had been doing something. So like we were having dinner and all of a sudden, like my oldest two were like eating food. We were like scarfing it down because we were eating dinner later. And all of a sudden I look over at my toddler and he's literally like this. And I was like, did our 2-year, like just
Busted.
two, did our 2-year-old was waiting to eat dinner and we were all like this. Like waiting to eat dinner till we prayed. I was like, oh my goodness. How is he like old enough to know that? But he was just sitting there with his arms folded. And I just remember being like, okay, we are a family that prays. And he's 2 and he knows that. That's so cool to me.
Yeah.
That was one of those moments where I'm like, well, you're not failing altogether. Good job. Right? You're doing some things right, Mom. Good job. So it was really funny. I thought that was eye-opening. They watch what we do constantly.
They are
do.
watching. How you spend your time matters.
Yeah.
All those little moments when they catch you praying or studying or
Serving people.
it matters. Okay, what do you guys think it means to live with eternal impact versus earthly success?
That was a deep question.
That's what I'm here for. Don't you remember my warning sign from last episode?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you think it means to live with eternal impact versus earthly success?
Earthly success is more like an outward thing to me, like what society tells you is a success, money, appearance, things like that, followers. And then like having an eternal impact is more about what will last beyond your lifetime.
I had this quote. It says, legacy is not leaving something for people. It's leaving something in people.
I have this thing that came to my head is I was reading a book and it talked about how with your kids so my daughter sometimes she's like, do I look beautiful right now? Does this look beautiful? Am I okay? And I just was reading this book and it was talking about how you should try to see the beauty in your children and comment on their beauty when they're doing good things. And when they're dressed up all like gussied up, you should call it how you look fancy instead of beautiful. And then comment on the beautiful things when they're like playing with their siblings, when they're helping out around the house without being asked. Like, you were the most beautiful today when you whatever.
We're kind.
Yeah, so I started doing that with Kennedy, and it just to watch her like beam and to know that yes, it's really fun to get fancy. When you dress up fancy and you curl your hair and you put on makeup for your dance recital, it's so fun to get fancy. But that's not when you're the most beautiful, because when she is the most beautiful is when she's being her authentic self. And I want her to feel that. And so that sort of like
You're such a good mom.
flipped. I'm trying. I flipped a switch in my head. I'm like, I'm going to start doing that. I love that. And all these ideas are from other people, but to take them and try to apply it, I'm like, I want her to know when she's the most beautiful is when she's the dirtiest sometimes, or she's playing with a friend and she's covered in dirt, but she did something really nice, you know?
What if, side note, like, let's divert off this road for a second. What if we could do that to each other as women?
That's not a side note. That's a segue.
Right into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though?
What if
Like,
we could?
What if we focused
You
on
are
that?
the most beautiful today when you whatever.
Yeah. I think we need to start that. It's going to be a Southern Sisters movement.
Southern sisterhood movement.
Yep.
Oh, I love that idea.
You are most beautiful when you do, not how you dress or what you look like.
Yeah. Oh, good. That gave me goosebumps.
That's awesome. Okay.
You're most beautiful when you listen to this podcast. Like and comment and leave us a review.
Okay, so the question is, if we understand the difference between eternal impact versus earthly success, what do you do and how do we stay faithful when we don't see the fruit of those instances and those things? Because we can't force our kids to have faith. So as a parent, and I know especially as they are older and they have the ability to use their agency, like,
Right.
I had a really, really, really good thought about this question. So there's a quote on people's wall that was like, "You were what we prayed so many years for," or something. Do you know what I'm talking about? What is the quote? Is that it?
Mm-hmm. It's on Kennedy's wall.
Is it? What does
Yeah.
it say?
Something about you're the gift that we prayed for years.
Yeah.
Years.
So I feel like there's been so many times in my life that I've been waiting for things to happen. And I had a friend the other day that she and her husband, she's been waiting for him to like come to church and go through the temple, which is a really cool thing that we do in our church. And one of the things is to get sealed forever and to be just together beyond death. So an eternal family, an eternal marriage is what we believe in. And we've been friends for the last 6-7 years. And ever since we first started talking, she told me how much her heart wanted to be with her husband forever. And next weekend, he's going to go through the temple. And they're going to get sealed too. And so she's telling me a couple weeks ago about this date that, or save the date. And she's saying it kind of like she's scared to like think that it's really happening, so she doesn't want to jinx it, or like they've been thrown so many trials and things that are just so hard. And I think that she's worried that something bad's going to happen. She's afraid to get excited about it. But I just like stopped right when she told me, and I looked at her and I was like, this is the blessing that you have been praying for. And this right now is happening. And I just kind of started tearing up, and I was like, I'm so excited for you. And I hope that like we just take those moments of things happening and not just moving on to the next thing we're waiting for.
It's true.
It's like, am I taking advantage of the moment where I'm feeling grateful that this happened? Like, think about something in your life that you thought was like the end all to, you being happy.
When I get
I'll
here.
be happy when, like if only I could blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But like it happens, and then it's almost like we want to jump to the next thing that we're needing or wanting.
Yeah.
And we don't just sit with our gratitude at getting a blessing, and so I love that question that you told him. Like, are we looking around? How do we stay faithful when we don't see the fruit? We have seen the fruit
You find the good.
of things. We have seen the fruit, and we have to trust that the fruit is going to come because we know it's come before.
Well, and that's finding the evidence.
Right.
Like, find the evidence of good blessings in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I have loved doing with my kids, and we're better at this at different seasons, but usually everyone has a journal. And when they have a moment where they see the hand of their God in their life, I say, go write it down. This
Yeah.
is your evidence journal. You have to have evidence because hard times are going to come.
Yeah.
And when you're lonely and feeling alone and you feel abandoned by God, because everyone does, if you don't have a record of what you yourself have seen to stand as a witness to that, then you will be lost.
Yeah.
And it will all have been for nothing. That's why in the scriptures so much that says, remember, remember. That's why history is so important, to remember where we've come from. Because if you lose who you are and you don't have a record of it, you can't find your way back.
Yeah.
So that's really, really important. You may never see the full harvest of the seeds that you sow, but God does. And He knows, and you are doing a great, great work. Our scripture for this time is Joshua 3:5. And this is Joshua hyping up the children of Israel right before they go to blast down the walls of Jericho.
Yes.
This is literally the night before, and he says, and Joshua said unto the people, wait, time out, first of all. First of all, I love Joshua because can you imagine how hard it would be to follow Moses? Okay, let's just say that right there.
hard.
I was like, man, this guy, so much courage, right? But he's getting ready. He's in the land of Canaan. He's about to knock down the walls of Jericho. He knows it must be done. He doesn't know how it's going to be done. I love this story
sounds
so
familiar.
much. I mean, it's those times where God's like, you're going to do a great work. You're going to raise these children. Miracles will happen because
You're going to
of
start
them.
a podcast.
You're not even going to know
Yeah.
the impact that you will have. And I'm going to ask you to do it by walking around the city a couple times tooting some horns. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Yep.
it's amazing. But the night before that all happens, Joshua is hyping up the people and he says, and Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. And I love that scripture because it reminds me that as parents and as people going out in the world to do the will of God in this dark time where things seem so uncertain and crazy, our job, we can't control any of that. All we can control is our hearts and the things that we are putting out into the world. And He has called us to sanctify ourselves so that He can do wonders with us in our families, in our communities, and among all of the people that God is calling. He wants all of His children back, and it's our job to help. Okay, so our reflection question for this week is, what's one small way I can live with legacy in mind this week? And until next time,
Keep striving. We'll see y'all soon.
beep. Moist. Stop saying bad words. I'm gonna come out this
What's
chair.
it from, a Cinderella story?
Yes.
Did y'all ever play that game whenever you were kids that you said a word and you said it really quiet and the next person had to say it a little bit louder?
Yes.
And a little bit louder? Yeah, good times.
I only played
All
telephone.
right, let's go.
Ready? Let's go. Welcome to our episode of Southern Sisters. We
You are good. Like really good. Okay, go ahead.
No, you have to zoom in on that.
It's your performance.
Welcome to another episode.
Performing.
Keep bringing it. You're doing great.
Go. Yeah. Well,
Yeah. No, she goes, go. Yeah.
yeah.
That's what made you laugh.
Welcome to our Southern Sisters. We are so excited you're here. Her face is red.
Welcome to our Southern Sisters.
Okay, let's do
Okay.
it.
Southern.
Ready for real.
You gotta do it above your head if you're gonna do it.
Mark.
No.
We ain't going back.
Yeah,
Come on,
I
let's
know.
do this.
Thanks for hanging out with us here at Southern Sisters. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to follow us on social media for more laughs, heart-to-hearts, and behind-the-scenes real life. We'd be thrilled if you subscribed to the podcast, left us a review, and shared it with your friends, because life's always better when we're on this journey together. Until next time, keep striving, keep laughing, and keep showing up. We'll see you all back here real soon.